Well, maybe by now you've heard something called Airbnb. This is where people all over the country are renting out their apartments they don't use or rooms they don't use to travelers all over the world. Yep, and it's a great deal because then people get something closer to home to live in and not a big bureaucracy of hotels and things like that. But more importantly, this company that manages the website where you could put what you have available for people to use on the website, they are now worth like 10 to 20 billion dollars. That's right. This is taking off so much. Everybody's worried about them. The local officials are fighting them in some cities and states because they don't pay taxes, hotel tax, because they're not a hotel. They're just an exchange of someone has a house, a room they could use, and somebody's looking for a room when they go to New York or wherever it is. But it's just a boom, and it seems like we're the country. Man, I mean, it went from nothing just a few years ago to now worth 10 to 20 billion dollars. Hyatt hotels, they're only worth $10 billion. And listen to this, Hyatt Hotel is worth about $10 billion. Airbnb is $10 billion, and now they think it's maybe 20 because this is a valuation about 4 or 5 months ago, and it's going so fast. But Airbnb has about 500 or 600 employees. Hyatt Hotels has like 45,000 employees. So the same value of the company has a fraction of the employees. So as we're growing these new industries, man, they're not employing like the old industries used to do. So that's why you have to learn for opportunities. And this guy did it. See, he lives in Japan, in Tokyo, and he was using his apartment as Airbnb. He said he had strangers. He was the most popular thing on Airbnb in Tokyo. He had 200 people stay in his living room for the last 2 years. And he got an idea about his own little thing to help people who are travelers. Because he was giving so much advice to people come to Tokyo. He was saying, hey, no, don't go to this restaurant, go here, and here's a special thing. You could learn how to sword fight. This guy I know gives a class on sword fighting. You want to do that, Or, hey, I know a guy or a girl, whatever, who's a transsexual who'll take you on a nightclub tour of transsexual clubs in Tokyo. Wow, you're never going to find that at the Hilton or the Hyatt or anywhere else. So he started a website doing this. Unusual activities to do in like 9 countries out in the east, for India, Indonesia, Nepal, all these great things. So you're like an insider. That's what he was giving advice to his people who stayed on this Airbnb in his room. He was showing them inside. Like, people come to Washington, D.C. Man, I don't go see the Washington Monument. I'll show you like the reading room of the Library of Congress. That is cool. And I've been living here 20 years. I know where the neat stuff is. You come here yourself, you're going to see the same 12 things everybody else does, and not the cool stuff. So he started a website that does this, and it's neat. And all he does is build a website, and learn how to market it on the webs. So start learning where you're going to create your own jobs like this, because the new Hyatts and everything like that, they're not hiring. So learn how to use the current system, the new system. It's a system for the future that's already here. Well, Musashi Takahashi. Boy, I hope I said that right. But you got one of the neatest travel opportunities in the world. You're at Go Voyagin. So that's GOVOYAGIN.com, and you're giving like unusual tours for people in like 9 different places in Asia. So if you're going to any of these countries, you'll hook people up with like individual, personalized, friendly, you get a friend almost in that city to give you an unusual experience that you can't get anywhere else. I mean, some of the things that you say, you get, I mean, you're not going to get it from the tour guide or anywhere else, and at a reasonable price. I mean, a lot of these tours now are so overpriced to me that you get, things like sword fighting. Learn how to sword fight, like in Japan, or you have one of the tours that you go on a nightclub, scene with a transsexual, and how they live in that city. I mean, just neat stuff you can't get anywhere else. So what made you think of this business? It's terrific.
Oh, yes. I used to be the Airbnb first, and then yes, and then and I had over 200 tourists in my living room.
200 people. So in other
Yeah,
words, where you live in Tokyo, you had
yeah,
200 people over the course of a year or two staying with you through Airbnb. That's the place where you don't have to pay an expensive
yeah,
hotel. You come to live with someone like Musashi, right? And you live at
yeah.
his place, yeah.
And then they always ask me what should I do, or asking me my recommendations. So
Ah, I see.
yeah, yeah. So that's the I saw the Airbnb connecting the locals through the accommodation, and then I realized that if they have the friends in the tour destination, so that's the more their tour will be the once in a life experience. So
I see,
yeah,
right.
I'd like to connect in the local and tourist. Yeah.
Well, it's why I mean Airbnb is sort of like that too. I mean, I see I'm starting to travel now more and overseas and looking at a big hotel
Hmm.
versus someone's private, apartment they have available or room or whatever it is. And first of all, it's a fraction of the hotel room. Plus, I get a local person that becomes my friend in that city instead of the concierge at the hotel who's trying to make money by sending me someplace, right?
Yeah.
But to me, what's important, I learn how the people in that city live, not how the tourist lives. And that seems to me more enjoyable in traveling in any city, is to learn how the people there live. And that's the experience you're giving, right?
Yeah,
In
yeah,
these
yeah, yeah.
special tours, yeah. Yeah. So what countries are you in now, or cities?
So right now we have the Japan, India, Taipei, Hong Kong, India, Indonesia, Thailand, Indonesia, or yeah, Singapore.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot.
Wow. So even Indonesia and Nepal, I mean, they sound like exotic, places to have a nice tourist vacation without
Yep.
feeling like a tourist, right? Yeah, so that's the key.
Yeah.
And so you go around checking out these small little entrepreneurs that offering the service. Yeah, you travel around a lot in the world
Yep.
and check them out personally. So you
Yep.
make sure, and actually the transaction is made through you. So it's not somebody that nobody knows or anything. We could always find you. And you're checking out all these people for us, aren't you?
Yes, yes, we checking out the screening for you,
Yes.
so that's you don't feel worry about the locals. We
Right.
qualify the locals, so that's
Right.
the
No, because
qualified local we are
I
connect.
could go on the internet and find anything, someone give me, cooking lessons in, India or something like that. And who knows if they're just going to rip me off with my money or whatever. But if I go through you, then
Yep,
it's usually going to be some small, entrepreneur who gives a very good service doing this. And it's very personalized and it's not a big corporation. And so you specialize in the individual kind of
yep,
entrepreneurs, don't you? Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So before they are mostly their jobs coming from the big tour agency. So
Right.
that's it's a little bit hard to get the customer from them. But we are
Right.
giving that tour to them to self
Ah.
promotion. Yeah.
So
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 that's
the
more
little
variety.
guy, yeah. So it makes sense. You're hooking up people. This is like a peer to peer. So
Yep.
there's an individual tourist like me doesn't want to spend a lot of money on stuff, and you have an individual little operator who has a fun little service or something that doesn't want to spend a lot of money advertising to get customers, and you do all the stuff in the middle to get this nice, friendly person in the
Yep.
country to take care of me. And I need taken care of, so that's wonderful. So, what are some of the exotic things that you would even be interested in taking advantage of that is on your site? You know what I mean?
Okay. I actually for me, I wanted to have in Indonesia we have the meet local shaman and get the fortune telling.
Oh, you a shaman give your
Yeah,
fortune telling, really? In Indonesia, a
yeah.
shaman?
It's
Wow.
still very hard to meet the local shaman, but the local know the shaman.
I
So
see. So
yeah,
the
so
tourists will never find this person. They're going to
yeah,
the shaman at the hotel.
yeah. No hotel conscious know the shaman.
Right, exactly. So you
Yeah.
found this little, and did you have your fortune told?
Actually, no, but
No.
our staff had
As a
some,
fortune
yeah.
told, I would see. Well, that's wonderful. So now, in what's your favorite of all the countries you cover? What are some of your more favorite countries you like going to?
See. Yep. For both the
Tokyo,
yeah,
huh?
Tokyo is interesting. Yeah, even me interesting. I haven't go to small stable until 30, but when I started this business, I finally first go to the small stable. Yeah,
I
that's
see.
interesting. Yeah,
So
experience.
you're finding stuff in Tokyo even for yourself that you didn't even know about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have not.
Wow,
Yeah.
well, that must be. I mean, Tokyo. What is that? The second or third largest city in the world? I forget now. But you're really up there in the number of cities. So there must be so much that even people in Tokyo don't know about,
Yes.
and you're letting them know about all this stuff,
It's
right?
kind of the we all of us know the small stable, but haven't the chance to go there. No, not
I
no
see.
chance to. Yeah. So it's
Well, it's
kind of,
like me. Yeah, when people, I live in Washington, D.C., when people come to Washington, oh, I always wanted to do that. So I'll take my friends to do something I really wanted to do. And as opposed to the tourist traps downtown Washington or whatever. So now the service works. I go on your website and I choose the city I want to travel in, and then there'll be maybe 10 programs there or 50 activities or whatever, and I look through the activities, right? And then you say, then I start talking directly with the person providing the service, right?
yep,
Yeah. Wow. And so then I pay you, and
yep.
then it seems like,
Just go the meeting place. That's it.
I see, right. And then I make connection with the other person, and everything's arranged, and they take care of me when I get there. You said they pick me up at the airport and everything.
Uh, taking the airport is that depends, but
I see. It
you
depends
can
on the
ask.
service. Yeah, right. You could can't hurt to ask. They're your friend now, so it's okay to ask, right? Oh, that's wonderful. So in a year now, it seems like you went from just Tokyo to like 9, 10 cities already. So this is a booming business for you, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. So people, if I was in one of these cities and I had a little service, I think what tourists would be interested in. So it would behoove me to contact you and let you know about this service, because then if you put it on your site, I get customers, right?
Mhm.
Right. Well, that's wonderful. Well, it's a great thing you're doing, and I think it's going to, because I think tourism will increase if we could meet real people in
Yeah.
these cities, when you get to just meet the people who want your money all the time in the hotels and the big restaurants, and you don't get a sense of what life is like. But you're introducing us to real people in those cities,
Yes,
aren't you?
so I don't like the outsider tour. So I
Yeah.
want to be the insider while I was traveling. So I wanted to offer that kind of the service through
So
voyaging.
you're making everybody who travels now an insider, no
Yeah,
matter what city they go to, right?
yeah, yeah.
So
That's
I'll be an
that,
insider in Indonesia or India or Japan or anywhere, and I won't be able to speak a word, but these people speak English, and they'll make me an insider, right?
yep.
Oh, well, wonderful. Well, thank you for having this service, and it's Go Voyagan, GOVOYAGIN.com, and
Thank
find
you.
out what you're missing in the world. Thank you again.
Thank
Take care.
you.
Bye.